The file opened automatically. No loading screen appeared. No application launched. The screen simply changed. Black background, white text. Blackwood Road access granted. For a few seconds, nothing else happened. I waited, expecting an error message, a glitch, anything familiar. Instead, a timer appeared beneath the text. 0001, 0002, 0003. It was counting upward. Not like a video, not like a download. It felt like something had started recording me. I tried closing the application. The screen froze instantly. My phone stopped responding. No buttons worked. No gestures registered. Then new text began typing itself across the display, letter by letter. Observer status confirmed. I felt a strange pressure in my chest, like the moment before bad news arrives. A list suddenly appeared. Names began scrolling downward faster than I could read. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Each entry followed the same format. Name, date, location, and beside every name, a single word. Replaced. The scrolling slowed. I leaned closer to the screen. Some names were crossed out. Others remained highlighted. Active. The list continued moving until it reached the bottom. Then it stopped. A blank space remained, waiting. One final line typed itself slowly. My name appeared. Full name. Correct spelling. Status. Pending. My hands went cold. The timer kept counting. 0117. 0118. I suddenly realized something disturbing. The timer wasn't measuring how long the file had been open. It was measuring how long I had been observed. Another message appeared beneath my name. Proceed to assigned route. Before I could react, my phone vibrated once. The navigation application opened automatically. No confirmation requested. No permission granted. Destination detected. Blackwood Road. Estimated arrival, 3:17 a.m. The exact same time mentioned in the transmission. Outside my car window, the street looked completely normal. A couple walked past laughing. Traffic moved through the intersection. Someone waited at a bus stop checking their phone. Life continued, untouched, unaware. But inside the car, everything felt different. The air felt heavier, quieter, like reality had shifted slightly out of alignment. I tried turning off the phone again. This time, the screen went black. Relief washed over me for a moment. Then the dashboard illuminated. The car hadn't been started. The keys weren't even near the ignition, yet the display activated slowly. A single sentence appeared. Observer phase complete. The engine started by itself, and at that moment, I understood something I had been avoiding since the first night on Blackwood Road. I wasn't being invited back. I was being called in. The engine continued running. I didn't touch the wheel. I didn't press the pedals. Yet the car adjusted itself slowly, aligning perfectly with the empty street ahead. For several seconds I just sat there, listening. The sound of the engine felt different, too steady, too controlled, like it wasn't responding to mechanical systems anymore, but to instructions. Outside, everything looked normal. A delivery truck passed at the intersection. A dog barked somewhere down the block. Someone closed a door across the street. Ordinary sounds, ordinary life. And suddenly, that normality felt distant, disconnected, as if I had already stepped outside of it. The navigation screen brightened again. The route pulsed softly, blue lines guiding me forward. Every turn already decided, every movement anticipated. I tried grabbing the steering wheel. It resisted. Not violently, just enough to remind me I wasn't in control. A notification appeared. Manual override unavailable. My heartbeat quickened. I checked my phone again. Still locked into navigation mode. No signal bars. No service provider displayed. Only one symbol remained at the top of the screen. Archive connection active. The car began moving. Slowly at first. Rolling away from the curb without acceleration. I watched my apartment building disappear in the rearview mirror. Windows glowing warmly. People living their lives inside. Completely unaware that something had just removed me from that world. Streetlights passed overhead one by one. Each light flickered slightly as I drove beneath it. Not random flickering, sequential, like checkpoints acknowledging my movement. Another message appeared on the dashboard. Subject relocation confirmed. Subject. Not driver. Not observer. Subject. The words settled heavily in my mind. I remembered the transmission. Containment Directive 7. Active sites. Observer classification. None of it sounded supernatural anymore. It sounded organized, deliberate, documented. The radio activated briefly. Static filled the speakers. Then fragments of recorded voices overlapped, different people speaking at once. I only drove for 5 minutes. The road wasn't on the map. I lost 3 hours. They told me not to look back. The voices cut off suddenly. Silence returned. The car accelerated onto the main road. Traffic parted naturally as I approached. Green lights appeared before I reached intersections. No delays, no obstacles. The route cleared itself ahead of me. Guidance, preparation, like something wanted me to arrive exactly on time. I checked the clock. 2:41 a.m. Arrival estimate remained unchanged. 3:17 a.m. The same time repeated across every message, every warning, every memory connected to Blackwood Road. I began noticing other vehicles merging onto the highway. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Late-night drivers, long-distance travelers, night workers heading home. But then I realized something strange. Every car entered the highway at precise intervals. None overtook another. None exited. All moving at identical speed. I glanced at the car beside me. The driver stared straight ahead, expression calm, hands resting lightly on the wheel, almost relaxed. He didn't look at me, but his headlights blinked once, a deliberate flash, not accidental, not impatient. Recognition. My stomach tightened. Another car flashed its lights ahead, then another behind me. Signals moving down the highway like a silent language. Communication without sound. Every driver understood something I didn't. We weren't random travelers sharing a road. We were arrivals, scheduled arrivals, participants following assigned routes. The fog appeared ahead sooner than expected. A thin gray layer hovering above the asphalt, growing thicker with every mile. My navigation display changed color again. Blue lines fading into deep red. New text replaced the destination label. Blackwood Access Corridor. My hands trembled slightly, because deep down, I knew the system wasn't guiding me to a place. It was guiding me back into an event already in progress.
I didn't open the file immediately. I just stared at the notification. The screen light reflected faintly against the windshield, while the rest of the street remained perfectly normal. Too normal. Cars passed. A motorcycle slowed at the intersection. Someone laughed somewhere nearby. Life continued as if nothing had changed. But my hands wouldn't stop trembling. Because deep down, I knew this wasn't a message meant to be ignored. The sender had no name, no number, no origin, only a single line beneath the attachment. Archive access granted. I checked the time. 3:12 a.m. 5 minutes before the time mentioned in the transmission. 5 minutes before another road would appear. My phone battery suddenly dropped from 60% to 12%. No warning, no background apps running. Just a slow, draining animation as if something invisible was consuming power directly from the device. Then, the temperature changed. Inside the car, the air grew colder. Not gradually, instantly. My breath became visible. I hadn't turned on the air conditioning. The engine was still off, yet frost slowly creeped along the edges of the windshield. That's when I realized the dashboard clock had stopped moving. 3:12 a.m. Frozen. Outside, traffic continued moving normally, but inside the car, time felt trapped. My phone vibrated again. Another notification appeared beneath the first. New entry detected. The archive icon flickered slightly, as if waiting, as if expecting interaction. I hesitated, because opening the file meant accepting something, acknowledging something, and the voice from earlier kept repeating inside my head. Observation increases manifestation probability. If watching made it stronger, what would opening the archive do? A distant sound echoed down the street. Not traffic, not wind. Tires. Slow rolling tires against asphalt. I looked up through the windshield. The road ahead stretched empty beneath the streetlights, but at the far end, the lights began turning off, one by one. Not flickering, not failing, switching off deliberately. Darkness advanced towards me like a closing curtain. Streetlight, dark. Next streetlight, dark. Closer, closer. The air pressure inside the car changed. My ears popped softly. The radio turned on by itself. Static filled the speakers again. But this time, there was no voice. Only faint background noise. Footsteps, breathing, and something else. Multiple voices whispering over each other. Too quiet to understand. Too many to count. My phone vibrated violently. The archive opened on its own. I never touched the screen. The display shifted to a black interface labeled Blackwood Archive Live Feed. Video thumbnails began appearing. Hundreds of them. Dash cams, security cameras, body cameras, phone recordings. Each labeled with timestamps from different cities, different countries, different years. And every recording ended the same way. Static, camera failure, signal loss. A progress bar appeared at the bottom of the screen. Syncing subject data. My heart pounded harder, because beneath the loading bar, a new category appeared. Active observers. Names began populating the list. Hundreds, then thousands. Some labeled missing. Some labeled unrecorded, some labeled archived. Then a new entry appeared at the top, highlighted, flashing softly. My name. The temperature inside the car dropped again. I tried to exit the app. The screen wouldn't respond. Outside, the darkness had reached my street. Only one streetlight remained on.
directly above my car. Everything beyond it disappeared into shadow. The radio static suddenly stopped. Silence filled the vehicle. Then, a child's voice whispered through the speakers, soft, close, almost behind me. "You opened it." I turned instantly. The back seat was empty, but the rearview mirror showed something wrong. The road behind my car was no longer my street. No houses, no parked vehicles, only a long stretch of unfamiliar asphalt disappearing into fog. Blackwood Road. It wasn't appearing somewhere else anymore. It had found me again. And this time, I wasn't just a witness. I was connected to it.
I kept staring at the rearview mirror. The fog behind my car moved slowly, not drifting like natural mist, breathing, expanding and contracting as if the road itself were alive. Blackwood Road wasn't somewhere else anymore. It was connected to me, attached, watching. My phone screen flickered again. The archive interface changed automatically. The live feed minimized. A new window opened. Observer status. Active. Below it, lines of text began typing themselves. Exposure level. Confirmed. Contact frequency. Increasing. Psychological stability. Pending evaluation. I felt sick reading it. This wasn't information being recorded after the fact. It was happening in real time. The system was monitoring me. The radio crackled softly. The calm, professional voice returned. Clearer than before. Closer. Observer designation confirmed. I froze. The voice continued without emotion. You have accessed restricted archive material. A soft tone echoed from the dashboard, almost like a notification sound. Withdrawal is no longer recommended. Recommended. Not prohibited. Not impossible. Just discouraged. I swallowed hard. What happens if I close it? I whispered. The answer answered instantly. You already know. The dashboard display shifted again. Video footage appeared. My car, from outside, recorded from across the street. I stared at the screen in disbelief. The angle wasn't from any camera I recognized. It was elevated. Impossible. As if something hovered above the neighborhood. The recording timestamp read, Live Observation. My breathing became shallow. I wasn't watching the archive anymore. The archive was watching me. Another window opened beside the video. Behavior prediction model. A progress wheel spun slowly, calculating, analyzing, learning. Outside, the remaining streetlight flickered once, twice, then stabilized again. The darkness beyond it felt closer now, heavy, pressing against reality itself. The voice spoke again. Observers often experience denial during initial integration. Integration, not exposure, not survival, integration. A notification appeared on my phone. New task assigned. My hands trembled as the text expanded. Maintain visual contact. Do not exit vehicle. Record environmental anomalies. Estimated duration unknown. I laughed nervously. A short, broken sound. I never agreed to this. Static answered first. Then the voice returned, quieter this time. You accepted when you looked. The rearview mirror shifted slightly. I hadn't touched it, yet the angle adjusted on its own, perfectly centered, framing the fog-covered road behind me. Something moved inside the mist. A silhouette, tall, unnaturally still, standing in the middle of the road, not approaching, not retreating, waiting. The archive interface highlighted movement detection. A red outline formed around the figure. Entity classification unverified. The system zoomed automatically. The image distorted,
pixels stretched, reality struggling to remain stable. For a fraction of a second, the figure looked directly toward the camera, toward me, and every device inside the car reacted at once. Phone vibration, radio feedback, dashboard warning lights flashing simultaneously. The voice spoke faster now, urgent for the first time, observer interaction probability rising. My heart pounded violently. I couldn't look away, because the moment I blinked, the figure was closer. No footsteps, no movement, just closer. Half the distance gone. The fog thickened around it. The streetlight above my car dimmed slightly, as if something was draining energy from the area. Another notification appeared. Archive note. Entities acknowledge observers. Avoid sustained eye contact. Too late. The figure tilted its head slowly, studying me, recognizing me. And then, every screen inside the car went black at the same time. Total silence. No static, no voice, no archive. Just darkness. For 3 long seconds, nothing existed. Then, the engine started by itself. The headlights turned on and illuminated the road behind me. Blackwood Road stretched endlessly into the fog, and the figure was standing directly behind my car.
The headlights revealed everything. There was no fog hiding it anymore. No distortion. No distance. The figure stood less than 2 meters behind my car, perfectly still. Tall. Thin. Its outline looked human, but something about its proportions felt wrong. Too straight. Too precise. Like a shape pretending to be a person. My breath fogged the inside of the windshield. I didn't dare move. Didn't dare blink. The rearview mirror trembled slightly, not from vibration, from adjustment. Something inside the vehicle was repositioning my view, centering it, forcing observation. The archive interface suddenly returned to life. Every screen activated at once. Phone, dashboard, navigation system, all synchronized. Live contact confirmed. A soft chime echoed through the car. Calm, almost reassuring. The same professional voice returned. Lower now, more careful. Observer has entered proximity phase. Proximity phase. My throat tightened. The figure leaned forward slightly. Not walking, not stepping, just shifting closer without movement. Like reality itself moved it forward. Its face remained hidden in shadow, but I could feel its attention, focused entirely on me. Another notification appeared. Do not exit vehicle. Do not initiate communication. Do not break visual lock. I didn't understand the last instruction until the mirror began dimming automatically, trying to reduce reflection, trying to make me look away. The system was protecting me, or testing me. My eyes burned from staring. Seconds felt impossibly long. The radio emitted a faint whisper beneath the static. Not the calm voice, something else. Multiple voices layered together, overlapping words I couldn't fully understand. Then one phrase became clear. Observer acknowledged. The figure raised one arm slowly, mechanical, controlled. Its hand stopped just above the trunk of my car, not touching, hovering. The air around it distorted, like heat rising from asphalt. Every warning light on the dashboard flashed red. Archive alert. Physical interaction risk detected. My hands gripped the steering wheel. I wanted to drive, to escape, but the gear shift refused to move. Locked. The system had disabled control. You must remain, the calm voice said, almost gently.
Departure during first contact increases replication probability. Replication. The word hit harder than fear. There wasn't just one of them. The figure's head tilted again, closer now to the rear window, and for the first time, light touched its face. There were no features, no eyes, no mouth, just smooth darkness shaped like a human silhouette, and absence where a face should be. The whispers grew louder, dozens of voices speaking simultaneously, some crying, some laughing, some repeating coordinates. My coordinates. The rear camera activated automatically. The image filled the dashboard screen. The entity stood directly behind the vehicle, but something else appeared beside it. Another outline, fainter, half-formed, then another, and another, shapes emerging from the fog like reflections learning how to exist. The archive labeled them instantly. Manifestation event detected. My breathing became frantic. "They're multiplying," I whispered. The calm voice responded immediately. "They are observing the observer." A sharp tone rang out. New directive issued. Maintain composure. Do not exit vehicle. Do not accelerate. Do not acknowledge recognition. Recognition. Too late. Because at that exact moment, the faceless figure leaned closer to the rear glass, and I felt something impossible. Not fear, not danger, recognition, like meeting someone I had known for a long time. The radio suddenly fell silent. All warnings disappeared. Every system powered down at once. Darkness swallowed the car again. The engine stopped. Headlights shut off. Complete silence returned. Outside, the figures vanished, gone instantly. No fog, no movement, just an empty street, normal, quiet, unchanged. My hands shook uncontrollably. I exhaled slowly, trying to understand what had just happened. Then the dashboard illuminated one final time. A single message appeared. Contact successful. Observer status updated. And beneath it, a new classification replaced my name. Active node.
Active node. The words remained on the dashboard long after everything else faded. No timer, no instructions, just confirmation. I sat there without moving, waiting for another warning, another voice, another system activation. Nothing came. The street outside looked completely normal again. Streetlights flickered softly. A car passed at the end of the road. Someone walked a dog across the sidewalk. Reality had resumed as if nothing had happened. But inside the car, something had changed. My phone vibrated once, then again, then continuously. Notifications flooded the screen faster than I could read them. Unknown contacts, unknown networks, unknown permissions being granted automatically. Messages appeared without senders. Connection established. Node synchronization beginning. Archive expansion in progress. I never accepted anything, never opened an app, yet every device around me responded as if I had agreed to something irreversible. The dashboard displayed a new interface. Cleaner, simpler, designed for observation. A map slowly formed again, but this time it didn't show locations. It showed people. Small glowing points scattered across cities, moving, stopping, reappearing, each one labeled with a status: observer, dormant, lost, and then active node. My breath caught when I realized how many there were. Hundreds, maybe thousands, all connected through the same system, all linked to Blackwood Road. One point pulsed brighter than the others. Mine. The screen zoomed inward automatically. Text appeared beside my location. First contact complete.
Cognitive resonance confirmed. I didn't understand what that meant, but my phone camera suddenly activated on its own, front-facing, recording me. No option to close it, no cancel button, just a small message at the top of the screen. Archive recording subject response. I stared at my own reflection, eyes wide, face pale, trying to convince myself this wasn't real. Then, the calm voice returned. Not through the speakers this time. Inside the car itself, surrounding me, closer than before. You are adapting faster than projected. I swallowed hard. Who are you? I whispered. There was a brief pause, almost thoughtful. We are preservation. The answer made no sense. The voice continued. The road does not appear randomly. It selects individuals capable of observation without rejection. Images flashed rapidly across the dashboard. Drivers filming empty highways, security footage from gas stations, dash cams capturing brief distortions before cutting to static. Every witness looked the same afterwards, confused, changed, watching. The archive requires continuity, the voice said softly. When observers disappear, reality forgets. The words unsettled me more than the entity had. Forget. The screen displayed faces. Dozens of missing person photos appeared one after another, each labeled identification unrecovered. These individuals encountered the phenomenon without integration. The images faded, replaced by glowing nodes again. Active nodes remained stable, connected, remembered. I felt cold realization creeping in. You're using us, I said quietly. The system did not deny it. Observation stabilizes manifestation. Outside the windshield, a passing car slowed slightly. Its headlights flickered. For a fraction of a second, the road ahead looked different. Longer, darker, extending farther than it should. Then it returned to normal. The archive reacted immediately. New sight forming. A distant point on the map began pulsing rapidly. Another road, another encounter starting somewhere else. Another observer about to be chosen. My screen split into multiple live feeds. Dashcam footage streamed from strangers' vehicles. Night roads, rainy highways, empty intersections. One camera suddenly glitched. Static filled half the frame. A familiar fog appeared ahead of the driver. My heart pounded. I was watching it happen in real time. The voice spoke again. You may now assist observation. A prompt appeared. Monitor event? Yes. No. My finger hovered over the screen. I didn't remember agreeing to anything before, but now the system was asking, giving me choice, or the illusion of it. The new driver slowed as the fog thickened, just like I had, just like everyone else. The archive waited, silent, expectant, and somewhere deep inside me, curiosity began replacing fear, because I already knew what the road would do next, and without realizing it, my hand moved. I pressed yes. The moment I touched the screen, every device synchronized instantly. Connection strength increased. The map expanded outwards. More nodes activated. More observers joined. The calm voice returned one final time. Warm, almost approving. Integration complete. The screen darkened slowly, leaving only a single line glowing in the center. Welcome to the network.
Welcome to the network. The message stayed on the screen longer than anything before it. No countdown, no system noise, just quiet confirmation. I stared at it, waiting for instructions, waiting for fear to return. But something unexpected happened instead. I felt calm. Not safe, not comfortable, just aware. As if a part of my mind had finally aligned with something larger. The dashboard illuminated again. The map expanded far beyond my city. Thousands of glowing points filled the screen now. Observers connected across states, countries, continents. Some moved slowly, some vanished without warning. Others pulsed brighter, stabilizing nearby locations. The archive was alive, and I was inside it. A notification appeared. New event assigned. A live feed opened automatically. Night highway, heavy rain striking a windshield. The driver shook slightly as they adjusted their steering wheel. They were alone. Radio static hummed faintly in the background. Coordinates displayed beneath the footage. 3 hours away from my location. The fog appeared ahead of them, exactly the same way it had appeared to me. Slow, impossible, spreading across the road without source. My breathing grew shallow. I knew what would happen next. The system highlighted multiple data panels beside the video. Heart rate estimation, vehicle speed, environmental distortion readings. The archive wasn't just watching, it was studying, learning, adapting. The driver hesitated. Brake lights reflected off the fog. For a moment, I considered closing the feed, walking away, pretending none of this existed. But the interface responded instantly. Access required. Observation maintains stability. The calm voice returned, closer than ever before. "You understand now," I whispered before realizing I was speaking aloud. "It only exists if someone watches." A brief pause followed, then confirmation. Correct. The fog swallowed the road ahead of the driver. Their camera flickered violently. Static lines tore across the screen. The archive prompted me again. Guide observer. Yes. No. My hands trembled. Guide them. Was that what had happened to me? Had someone else been watching when I drove onto Blackwood Road? Had I never been alone? The realization hit harder than fear ever had. I selected yes. A microphone icon appeared. Live communication enabled. My own voice echoed faintly through the speakers. The driver spoke first, confused, panicked. "Is someone there?" I hesitated, because I remembered saying those exact words months ago, before everything changed. "Yes," I said quietly. "I'm here." The driver's breathing slowed slightly. "What is this place?" I searched for the right answer. There wasn't one, so I told the truth. "Just keep driving." The fog thickened. Reality bent at the edges of the frame. Streetlights appeared where no city existed. An endless road stretched forward. Blackwood Road. The archive reacted immediately. Stability increasing. Node support confirmed. I realized then what my role had become. Not victim, not witness, caretaker, observer guiding the next observer. The cycle continued because someone always stayed behind to watch. The driver disappeared into the fog. Signal distortion peaked, then stabilized. A new node appeared on the map. Active. Integration successful. The feed ended automatically. Silence filled the car. For a long time, nothing happened. No alerts, no voice, no instructions. Only the quiet hum of ordinary reality returning once again. My phone lit up one final time. A system notification appeared.
Archive status updated. Primary observer online. I stared at the words, understanding settling slowly into place. Blackwood Road was never a destination. It was a system, a memory machine, a network built from witnesses who refused to forget. And now, I was one of them. Outside, a car passed underneath the streetlight. For a fraction of a second, its headlights flickered. Somewhere else, another road was beginning to appear. Another observer would soon ask the same question. And when they did, the archive would connect them, just like it connected me, just like it always had. Because Blackwood Road never ends. It only waits for someone new to look back.
If you enjoy late-night stories like this, feel free to subscribe. You can also turn on notifications so you'll know when the next story arrives. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you for listening to After Hours Stories. Check your doors. Check your phone. And whatever you do, don't answer unknown calls after midnight. Good night.